Hello friends, welcome to Ms. Miller's Fire Pit Friday. I'm super glad that you could join me here today, and I have something I want to read to you. So let me get my adventure pack and let me see if I can find the book I'm going to read to you. Let's see, I don't think it's in this pocket. In this pocket I have my emergency RX bar in case I need to eat a little snack, and I have my emergency hand sanitizer, homemade, thank you Almendra. So not that drawer. Let's see. Okay, it's not this spot in my adventure pack. This is my emergency fire starter. It's a magnesium and flint and steel stick. Not that. And this is not the book I'm going to read. It's my emergency playing card deck. It's decorated with birds. So that's not the slot of my adventure pack. Let's try this middle one. This is the one. Let me get it out. I, of course, have my adventure hat in my pack. And always have your binoculars with you. Got those there. And let's start with looking today at my bird book. Do you remember we looked at this last week? And last week we learned about the bird that says, cheer up, cheerily, cheerily, cheer up. We learned about the American robin, Turdus migratorius, last week. Thank you, Mr. Miller.
You're welcome.
So that's what we learned about last week. This week, I'd like to introduce you to a new bird, and it just so happens to be on the next page. This is a bird that is in Butte County, and all of us might see this when we're out for a walk. We might see it in our own front yard or backyard or somewhere nearby in a park. This bird says its name. Do you hear that sound? Let me describe this bird. It says, I look like a stone hidden on the ground and can fool you to keep my baby safe. Wow, what does that mean? Let's take a look at this bird that says its name. This bird is a killdeer, and that's what it says. It says, killdeer, 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 killdeer. Do you hear that? Now that does not mean that it kills deer. It just means that's what it sounds like it's saying. Charadrius vociferus is its Latin name. I say Charadrius vociferus. You say Charadrius vociferus. Charadrius vociferus. What does that mean? Well, that's its Latin name, or its scientific name. Charadrius means yellow. It kind of has some yellowish qualities to it. Vociferous means it's a loud clamoring. So do you think that the killdeer is going to be a gentle, soft, quiet bird, or a loud, fierce bird? Loud clamoring. It said that it can keep my babies safe by fooling you. Do you know what that means? That means the killdeer can act like it's hurt. Like, let's say that it's on a gravel levee and it has laid its eggs on the levee, and the eggs will blend in and look like the gravel. But what if a raccoon comes by and it's sniffing, wanting to have eggs for breakfast? Well, the mom and dad killdeer will pretend that their wings are injured. They'll limp along the levee and get the raccoon's attention. And the raccoon will say, I could have meat or eggs. And they want to choose the meat. And so they chase what looks like the injured bird. And then all of a sudden, the mom and dad killdeer that are pretending to be injured fly away after they have led the raccoon safely away from the eggs. So it can fool you to keep the babies safe. Charadrius vociferus. Killdeer. Well, I want to read to you a book. And in my adventure pack, I have a few choices. Let's see what my choices are. Sometime I'll read this one to you. It's called The Camping Trip That Changed America. And it's about my favorite president, Theodore Roosevelt. I won't read that one today, but maybe another day. Do you remember last week I read to you We Were Tired of Living in a House? That was a great book. I like that one. I could read to you this week when we looked at briefly The Pumpkin Runner last week. We'll save that one. That leaves me with the one that I'm going to read to you today, called Miss Twiggly's Tree. This is my childhood favorite book. Same with my sister and my brother. This is written by Dorothea Warren Fox. She's the author. And she also drew all the illustrations. She drew the pictures. Okay, Miss Twiggly's Tree. Funny Miss Twiggly lived in a tree with a dog named Puss and a color TV. She did what she liked, and she liked what she did. But when company came, Miss Twiggly hid. It's not that I do not like people, said she, but one gets a bit shy when one lives in a tree. She named her dog Puss. He didn't mind that. My very best friend, he said, is a cat. Old Miss Twiggly was friendly with bears. They shed on the sofa, she said, but who cares? They don't find me odd, and I'm grateful for that. I don't think they'd mind if I slept in my hat. And just to be sure, she slept in her hat. She slept in her hat, but she made up her bed, and she swept and she dusted until the bears said they were thoroughly tired of being so neat and refused when she asked them to hold up their feet. Now, Puss was clever, a smart dog indeed. He did the shopping for the things they would need: groceries, clothing, and tools for repairs, bones for himself and jam for the bears. But whenever he shopped for Miss Twiggly's meals, the town dogs teased and snapped at his heels. So poor Puss shivered, as scared as could be, and he hurried back home to his safe and sound tree. Miss Twiggly and Puss were happy up there, high above ground, in a house, in the air. Simply disgraceful, said people in town, to live in a tree and never come down. The wife of the mayor was maddest of all. To not be at home when I come to call is unforgivable, and besides that, I have been told she sleeps in her hat. My husband must know of a town law, said she, against things of that kind going on in a tree. She marched to the mare. "Now, what can you do? The house in the tree is spoiling our view. Miss Twiggly's a nuisance. No town should allow a person to hang up her wash on a bough. The smoke from her chimney is causing a smog, and she lives, so they say, with some bears and a dog." The poor mare sighed. "My dear, I agree, but more pressing problems are bothering me. The weather report says it's going to rain. I fear we are in for a wild hurricane." It did rain for a week and a month and a day. The wind blew a gale and the bridge washed away. The town was cut off, its people afloat. Whatever went by, they used for a boat. The road and the meadow were one stormy sea, and right in the middle stood the house in the tree. Old Miss Twiggly had battened her hatches and checked her supply of tea and dry matches. "String up some hammocks," she called to the bears. "Puss, you build platforms and spare beds and chairs. We may have some callers, and wet ones at that. I'll go change the bows on my best sleeping hat. I'll get right to work on a big pot of stew to be sure there'll be plenty to feed quite a few." She put on the kettle and buttered some bread. "Now, let them all come. I'm ready," she said. "They're coming," called Puss, who perched way up high, holding a spyglass close to his eye. "Ahoy," called the mare. "Miss Twiggly, yoo-hoo, is there room in your house for a wet friend or two?" "There's room for you all," Miss Twiggly replied. "Climb up where it's warm. Come up and be dried." They hauled up the mayor and the chief of police and sweet Trudy Wilmot, the groceryman's niece. Pigs came in their trough. A wet mother cat arrived with her kittens aboard a straw hat. The dogs of the town came swimming right up, big dogs and small pups, and one frisky pup. Big plump Mrs. Honk was afraid of the stairs, and little Joe Pettibone didn't like bears. "Don't fret, Mrs. Honk," Miss Twiggly said. "You won't mind the height when you're tucked into bed. And Joe, my bears are as tame as can be. They don't spill a crumb when I ask them to tea." In the very last boat, bedraggled and wet, was the wife of the mayor, looking upset. She felt so ashamed of the words she had said when her hostess declared, "I fixed you my bed." Miss Twiggly's new friends were cozy and warm, sheltered and fed, and out of the storm. Though the wind made the rain go splittery splat, the mayor's wife slept safe and sound in the hat. Old Puss, once so shy, forgot all his fear. The town dogs were fun. He was glad they were here. They pretended the house was like Noah's Ark. They played games and sang till long after dark. Now the townsfolk were glad, just as pleased as could be, that funny Miss Twiggly lived in a tree. And Miss Twiggly found out something wonderful too. When emergencies come, you don't think about you. You help all you can, and you never ask why. Then the first thing you know, you forget to be shy. Well, I hope you enjoyed Fire Pit Friday reading Miss Twiggly's Tree as much as I did. Thank you so much, friends, for joining me, and I'll see you next Fire Pit Friday.